Police Scotland have listed a Glasgow sex shop, a mushroom farm and a demolished office block as third-party reporting centres for the latest wave of dystopian rules to be implemented. The Scottish Hate Crime and Public Order Scotland Act is due to come into force on April the 1st, rather appropriately April Fool's Days. And while some offences have been consolidated, they have created a new offence of stirring up hatred against protected characteristics, such as age, disability, religion, sexual orientation and gender identity. An act that is completely subjective and solely relies on a person's feelings rather than any quantifiable evidence. But in the run-up to this new law coming into force, the Scottish Government have come up with this idea of spending more taxpayers' money on locations for people to attend to report said subjective hate offences, with zero evidence, only their bruised fifis. Luke and Jack's, a shop in Glasgow which describes itself as passionate purveyors of pleasure products, run by what appears to be two gay guys, is the perfect place hate crimes can be reported. I mean, many of its customers are probably part of a demographic which a large number of participants claiming hate crime at every opportunity belong. And no, I don't mean Islamophobic hate crimes. I can't imagine any of those would get reported in a sex shop run by what appeared to be a gay couple. Not that there's anything wrong with being gay, if that's what floats your boat. But surely you would pick somewhere that's going to be welcoming and available to all people who want to complain that they don't like what someone else has said. And this certainly isn't going to be a place that Muslims head to report anything. Granted, there are many other places now listed as third-party reporting centres, but they should all be somewhere that can be used by everyone. In fact, it might even be discriminatory against Muslims, seeing as they feel homosexuality is a sin and want to throw rooftop parties for anyone of that persuasion. I'm not the only one who thinks this is a bad idea, by the way. Well, this particular place rather than the reporting centres collectively. A Scottish Tory MSP, Annie Wells, said serious questions must be asked as to who thought a sex shop was an appropriate setting to report a hate crime. The SNP's Act is flawed enough without asking people to relay their experiences in this sort of outlet in the heart of the city centre. Glaswegians will rightly be wondering what the thinking behind this decision. Police Scotland should drop this shop from their reporting centres as a matter of urgency. So Annie Wells obviously thinks the reporting centres themselves are a great idea, whereas I don't. I think this is yet another waste of money and time when people can simply contact the police directly to express their concerns that somebody doesn't agree with them. Now, don't get me wrong here. I know that there are some absolute arseholes out there who will be actually discriminatory towards others. But let's look at facts. Most cases of so-called hate crimes are simply spurious, where someone of a particular demographic wants to shut down an opposing view. We see this on social media all the time. Very few of the so-called hate crimes are actually crimes. Well, they wouldn't have fit into any criminal bracket previously. However, now it looks like the jocks are pretty fucked and won't be able to criticise anyone anymore, as it is now law. Other so-called cases of hate crime are the minority group members against others, and the vast majority of hate crime offences don't actually come from anybody committing a crime based on the law as it was. So is this move really to protect those who might be subjected to hate crimes, or is it a move to help the government shut down opposing voices? Now, they've already made it an offence to say certain things in your own home, which is rather reminiscent of George Orwell's 1984, where they have a device on the wall, watching and listening to everything you say, even making people empty their pockets in front of the camera when they arrive home. Callum Still, the former General Secretary of the Scottish Police Federation, said that he was concerned about what the third-party centres might do for the reliability of crime data. So could this be what their aim is to achieve? Rather than actually help the public, maybe they simply want to look like they're dealing with more and more hate crimes and place themselves as one of the safest places to live if you're a minority. to be fair, I don't mind. In fact, there's a lot of minority people I would happily send to Scotland and let them deal with them. But the implementation of the new law does not seem to make sense to me. Callum Still said, with literally hundreds of third-party reporting vehicles available, inevitably each one with their own interpretive vagaries, that means data confidence will be nigh on impossible to be derived. I suspect that within a very short period of time we will have data suggesting Scotland to be one of the most hateful countries on earth. This Jackanory data will be used to justify an endless drive to deliver a Pygmalion utopia. Police Scotland have already confirmed that they will investigate fully every complaint, even if they don't meet the criminal threshold, and guidelines mean that even if police do not believe a crime has been committed, when the victim perceives it to be a hate crime, the circumstances will still be recorded as a hate incident, a non-crime incident. Look, they are all non-crime incidents unless a crime has been committed, such as inciting violence or another crime, assault in all of its forms, etc. But there are laws in place for those things already. This seems to be an absolutely ridiculous way to waste more police time, more taxpayers' money, and criminalise more people for literally nothing, based entirely on somebody's subjective feelings with zero clarification on what meets the threshold for a non-crime hate incident and what does not. I do feel sorry for the Scottish folk, but on the other hand, those who want to make a big fuss out of everything and get someone criminalised because they simply can now all fuck off to Scotland and leave those who can live amongst the rest of us to stay here in England. If you found this report informative, please give us a thumbs up and get yourselves involved in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates, and I'll see you in the next video.